Hello there, welcome to Leadership Platform. My guest today is a lady you like to meet, a lady of substance by the definition of that very word, a lady that has continued to improve her capacity to impact society, a doctoral candidate, a holder of two master's degree in business administration, as well as public health and nursing, a professor in nursing science, somebody that's engaged in community service, running a non-profit and small business as a consultant, founder of Good Hope International Foundation, medical evangelist and missionary as a vocation. She is the director of youth and young adults of MBC USA, the first assistant secretary of MBC USA way back at the time of commencement in 2008. She is a lady of many paths, but I'll give her the privilege to talk more on that. I welcome Chief Mrs. Ngozi Mbaocha, known by her title as Oledo. It's my pleasure to welcome you.
Thank you so much.
Well, I have just gone through a little of your biodata, but the person, Ngozi Mbaocha, is unique person. And it's you that can always tell us a lot more about your person. Would you want to share your personality with us outside of what we've talked about now? What kind of person is Chief Mrs. Ngozi Mbaocha?
Thank you so much. Ngozi Mbaocha is just a very simple, selfless personality driven by passion to help humanity and serve God. In a very nutshell, that's who and what Ngozi Mbaocha is all about.
I know Ngozi Mbaocha is a mother. I don't know if she's a grandmother, but I know she's a manager of families and touching the lives of the younger ones. I guess I'm right on that.
Yes, she is a mother, a grandmother, and a queen mother to many, many children across the globe.
Oh, well, now let's move on to your movement from Nigeria to the United States. You know, for a lot of people, it's not an easy transition settling down in the United States as to uh, stamp your right of authority and make the best of career. Would you want to take us a bit into that?
Oh yeah, I emigrated into this country way back in the mid 90s as a foreign graduate nurse. Took the CGFNS exam in Ghana, passed, came here and started working as a nurse and have worked in several hospitals, in several departments, currently a nurse entrepreneur and a nurse advocate for quality health care, especially to the people of color. I believe there should be a solution that could bridge the gap in healthcare disparity.
Yeah, you've done a lot to build your capacity and in diverse areas because in business administration, you're in public health and nursing. Will you tell us what influenced you to take interest in those areas?
First of all, I started out as a general nurse practitioner, and then when I became a nurse entrepreneur, I decided to add a degree to my business venture. So I went in and did masters in business administration, And when I started nonprofit organization, I felt I'm leaning more towards population health instead of individual health,
Mm,
because public health is about the population. And I felt I could do more when I start talking about preventive health and wellness than just touching one person at a time. I could touch community, I could touch society at large. And then digging more into my nursing profession, I said, okay, as a nurse entrepreneur, let me get another degree to it. That's when I went in now and did my master's in nursing. And then when I started teaching, I found myself teaching legal and ethics in nursing. And I found myself doing a lot of online education for community health workers, especially during the COVID, as a matter of fact. I was organizing online seminars and webinars across the globe, especially on um, infection control and prevention. So, because of that, I'm like, let me go get my doctoral in public health.
mhm.
Yes. So, that's my journey so far.
Oh, well, that's great. When we talk about say people having capacity, this is one of it. Expanding in diverse areas. One degree is not enough to make sure that you remain an expert in whatever field you chose to, venture into. Now, you were the first assistant secretary of Mbise USA, and currently occupying the exalted position of the director of youth affairs. How do you assess your position and Mbise USA, so to say?
Um, Obviously, as a youth advocate, lover of youth and children, I think, like our president always said, a round peg in a round hole.
Mm,
I think I couldn't have done better in any other position than this. And so when he called me to take up that mantle of leadership from our ex talented youth advocate, Jenna Onye, I kind of thought about it. I know a call to office is a call to service,
mm.
but I said I would do it for the sake of Mbise Nation because I love Mbise and everything that has to do with Mbise. So, what does that mean? It means continuing from the footprints our predecessor, Mrs. Aponya, left, Dr. Jen, and moving in that direction and then diversifying it. Our motto is our youth, our heritage, our culture. And we want to instill the spirit of diversity, equity, and inclusion in our youths and young adults.
Okay, they say at the youth age is a very critical time in the life of any person, and if you don't get it right at that time, it's very difficult to navigate through the challenges that lie ahead. How best? What do youth need at that stage of life? What steps do they need to take in order to make the best of their lives?
What they need at this critical age and stage in life is listening to them and they being listened. We need to hear them and they need to hear us. So the goal is to create that conducive environment that we all can come together and make it a friendly environment where they can express themselves, keep open ear and open mind, be willing to hear them, and also make it comfortable for them to also hear us.
Okay, when you talk about that, I want to look at your position and other ladies of substance, ladies in leadership. To what extent do you have enough room to really express yourself, come out with programs of action and ideas, looking at MBC USA, the structure and the involvement of women?
Um, once again, I want to appreciate the leadership of Mbise from the onset. They have always um, appreciated and been very, very inclusive by putting women in the leadership position of Mbise. Right now, we have a woman who is also the director of children affairs. We have a woman who is the director of women affairs. We also have a woman who is, I think, occupies the position of the treasurer. So, and that means they are saying, yes, you are women. We also understand your capacity and what you can do. So they are doing their best to make sure that there is no to bridge the gap when it comes to gender leadership in MBC USA.
All
Gender
right.
leadership disparity in MBC
Okay.
USA.
So the key into equality, in whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Still talking about the youth, and we have the convention ahead of us. You've drawn up a lot of programs to excite the youth to get the best of them. Would you want to talk about that, given your position as the director of youth and all the programs that have been lined up from Dozoke, like here to fashion parade, the cultural pageant, and a whole lot of other things, the town hall meeting?
Yes, we are really, really getting excited about this year's convention in Dallas. We are building upon what is already set up. We're adding more to Ntozoke and the fashion shows and every other thing that has been happening in the past. We are taking the past, adding the present, and then moving it to the future. In the past, we have had fashion shows, Ntozoke, and other things. So, in addition to those ones, this year we are adding a cultural pageant, and this year we are adding a Bible dance. Also, we are adding the youth and young adults millennial gala, town hall forum, youth charity outreach. So, what are we looking at? We are opening the door for expression. For instance, during the town hall forum for the young adults, we want them to meet and greet and mingle and know, where am I from? Where are my parents from? I know you. Do you know where your parents come from in NBC? If we meet ourselves tomorrow outside the convention enclave, am I able to call you by your name and say, oh, we met in Dallas? Or am I going to go past without knowing your name and say, oh, I think we met somewhere? So this town hall forum will give the youth the opportunity to know themselves, embrace their culture when we are doing the cultural pageant. We want our youth to begin to embrace, uphold, and uplift our culture. And why are we going into cultural pageants? We want the youth to be able to know that your culture is your identity that nobody can take away from you. If you speak Igbo language, nobody's going to take that culture away from you. And wherever you are and you speak it, someone will turn around, oh, are you from Igbo? For instance, I dressed up in African print the other day and went to Walmart. And the lady by my side said, good afternoon, ma. I said, oh, thank you. I said, do I know you somewhere? Oh, no, I saw your dressing and automatically I know you're from Nigeria. And maybe if I go further, you might be an Igbo woman. I'm like, wow, just the dress identified me and where I'm coming from. And when you uphold and embrace your own culture, that will give you the opportunity to also appreciate other people's culture. And talking about this, I found out that the United Nations has is a very big stakeholder um, talking to youth about culture because that is something that is informing global peace. Because if you like my culture, I like your culture. I respect your culture. I embrace and appreciate your culture. We all can move on and get along together, even in this global space.
Okay. Well, in every setting, dominantly, MBC USA has continued to champion special projects, to impact on the MBC nation, so to say. And I'm sure the youth could play a role in that direction. What do you think the youth could do towards escalating the projects and programs towards redefining MBC's state of development?
That's a very, very interesting question. And why I say it's very interesting is we are moving very, very further into a digital world. And we all saw what happened during the COVID, where technology took over almost everything. And we are talking about going into the era of artificial intelligence. And our youths, fortunately, are the digital and technology age. So, what we in our own time could not do conservatively, our youths, trust me, they will do it. So, we are preparing them to be ready to take over that mantle of leadership, that digital connection, taking what they have learned here, especially the good ones, taking some pieces of them and taking them to be say as a nation. We are looking forward towards that time when Mbisekian youths can even engage into cultural exchange with the youths in Mbise. We are looking towards that time Mbise youths can be part of UN Youth Convoy and be part of Global Youth Mission. We are looking at that time when our youths can be organizing Mbise Global Youth Summit. I can't wait for that time. And we are getting there.
We're really getting there, and it's something exciting. When we talk about MBC, uh, people get so involved, and we try sometimes to draw a line between a true MBC person and a non-MBC person. Would you want to talk along that line?
Yes, who is a true Mbise person? A true Mbise person is a person who identifies with Mbise in words, thoughts, and action. For instance, anytime I speak vernacular, you don't need to tell the person behind me that I am really from BC. So my language all the time exposes me as a true daughter of Mbise because I don't hide anything. I speak it to the full length and breadth of it. Anytime I hear about what can we do to make Mbise better, you could testify with me just few months ago. A whole lot of Mbise sons and daughters went to Mbise for annual medical mission. They could have done something else with their time. They could have spent their money somewhere else, but they chose to go back, to give back. That is putting Mbise nation in front of their own individual pleasures and giving back. That is living that Mbise dream by action. And there is no better Mbise person than that Mbise person who identifies with Mbise, who puts that identity into action, and who thinks all the time, how do I make Mbise a better and greater nation?
On that note, I'd like to say a special thank you to Chief Mrs. Ngozi Mbaocha for this very insightful conversation this evening. I thank you once again for being our guest.
Thank you.